Before you make your very first wig with those bundles you spent all that money on, or that hair you've had in your hair stash for months, maybe a year, I want to go over everything you need to know, from how to measure your head for your wig, how to map out your head measurements, about the cap, the wig block, all of the things. So go ahead and grab a little drink. Mine is about gone, but that's all good. And let's get into it. We got a lot to talk about. So first of all, kudos to you for wanting to learn how to make your very first wig. Or if you've already made one and it didn't turn out the way that you want, kudos to you for wanting to learn how to make it right the next time you do it, because you are going to try again. You are not going to give up. Okay, let's talk about the wig block and the wig cap. You're going to use your circumference to determine what size wig block you need. Wig blocks come in whole and half sizes. You can get as small as 19 and as big as 24. I recommend canvas wig blocks that have cork in them, not the styrofoam. They will last you for a very long time. A lot of my wig blocks I've had for years and years, which is not good, child. I need to replace them. I do. I really do. Hold on, I'll be right back. I want to show you some. A lot of the wig blocks on Amazon, you'll get one of these as a free gift, and these are really good. For years, I used these. I think it's called a wig head mount. You put the wig block on this, and you're able to latch this onto a table. I wouldn't put it on a good table. I use like a little folding table. You can find them at Ross, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, and Marshalls. But these come in handy. If you already have a wig block, you can also find these at your local beauty supply store, and they're on Amazon. I used these for years. I did not switch to a wig tripod until I started making content for YouTube and social media. So these come in handy. This one has styrofoam in it. I don't recommend using these. No, it's pretty, but I wouldn't make a wig on this. I wouldn't get it wet. I have my weaving needles on here. I don't recommend T-pins. I use these to keep the wig on my mannequin head while I take pictures. And then my straight pins, which are hard. Girl, I know you jealous. I know you mad. Don't be, girl. And when you get straight pins, get the extra long ones. That way, while you are mapping out your head measurements on your wig block, you don't have to worry about the pins coming out. And let me show you how important it is to get the wig block that is the size of your head. This is a 20 and a half. And this is a, what is this? 22 and a half. Big difference. Or is it? Yeah, that's a bit, wait, that looks kind of inappropriate. So you really want to use a wig block that is the size of your head, and you're going to use your circumference for that. I'm a 21 and a half. Oh, this is my size. This is one of the first wig blocks that I purchased. This was before they were on Amazon. So Amazon comes in so handy. But yeah. And I'm going to show you how to map out your head measurements after we're done having a little chit chat. Let's talk about the wig caps. So I recommend mesh dome caps. They are perfect for beginners and if you are going to be making your wig by hand, which we are. My favorite brand is the Q-Fit brand. They come in regular size, extra large, and they used to call it small, but now they call it kids. I don't know. And we're going to talk about that in 1 second. Now, I don't like to come on here and tell you what to do and what not to do. But please do not use the weaving nets. They may market them as a wig cap. They keyword stuff on Amazon anyway, but do not use anything. If it doesn't say mesh dome cap, don't use it. Those caps are not strong. They have no structure. They're very flexible. They break easily. I made my first wig on one of those and my wig turned out perfectly except for the fact that I used that cap. So do not use that cap. Use a mesh dome cap. I will have my favorite wig caps linked below. Now with the mesh dome caps, if you are a size 22 and a half and bigger, I recommend getting an extra large. So I want to show you how a regular size wig cap look on a 22.5. It's pretty snug, and I feel like it's going to be too tight when you have it on your head, and after you make your wig, it's going to get a little tighter. So I don't recommend this size. So see how snug that is? There's no give. That's a 22.5. So get an extra large cap, okay? So this is a regular cap on a 21.5 with my measurements. And it feels pretty good. If I put it on a smaller cap, let me see how it looks. Ooh, girl, we getting into it. Let me see here, girl. This is a 20.5, and you see how you have all of that slack? You can either get a smaller cap or use the regular cap, and while you are sewing the hair in the back, just pull up this extra cap as you sew. So either or. The company that I purchased my crochet wig caps from, I have one right here. The company that I purchased the crochet wig caps from, they have mesh dome caps, small, medium, and large, but I have never tried those. So if you have a small head, maybe you want to try one of their medium caps. I don't know, but I'm going to link it below. That's going to be your call. But again, if you want to just use a regular cap, that's fine. Just pull up that extra cap while you sew. This is a headband wig, by the way, that I love. All right, let's go. I know that was a lot, so let's do a quick recap. For your wig block, you want to get a wig block that is the circumference of your head. They come in sizes 19 inches to 25 inches. And when you're taking your head measurement, I want you to size down if you're in between two sizes. For example, if you're between 21.5 and 22, size down to 21.5. Since we will be making our wigs by hand, I recommend mesh dome caps. I love the Q-Fit brand, highly recommend them. But of course, get the brand that you love as long as it's a mesh dome cap. And if you are a size 22.5 or bigger, get an extra large cap. If you want to try a smaller cap, if you have a small head, I will have the brand that I think you should try linked below, or you can use a regular cap. And do not get the weaving caps. Child, run. They are a mess. I showed you an example earlier. Don't do it. And I must mention these dome caps. Please do not purchase the pre-marked dome caps. We don't even lay our wefts down like that. I recommend sewing your hair along the elastic band without going through it. So do not get this cap. I do not recommend it. And we don't even, girl, don't do it. Just listen to me. I know best. All right, so when you take your head measurements, don't have anything on your head. My cornrows are fuzzy and we just met. I don't need y'all judging me, okay? But I've got to show you how to take your 3 head measurements for your wig. That way your wig fits perfectly. So let me grab my measuring tape. Do not take your measurements while you have a sew-in, crochet braids, individual braids, that's locks, twists, faux locks, and while wearing a wig. I recommend having your hair prepped how it would be while you're wearing your wig, or at least have an idea. Very important, because that can make or break the sizing of your wig. You don't want it to be too big, you don't want it to be too small. So you're going to use a measuring tape. We're going to measure in inches, and we're going to go by whole and half sizes. You need your circumference, ear to ear, over your head, and front to nape. Before you take your measurements, think about how you plan to wear the wig. Do you plan to wear it behind your hairline? Do you plan to leave hair out in the back? That's very important, because if you don't take measurements according to how you plan to wear your wig, when you put your wig on, it can either feel too big or too small. Also, take each measurement twice. If you get the same number both times, you're good. If you get 2 different numbers, take it a 3rd time and use the number you get the most. I recommend keeping it as simple as possible. Don't try to do the most with your head measurements. Like, I understand if you're going to leave some hair out in the back, but as far as wanting to leave more hair out on the left side than the right, we're not doing all of that. I want you to just get your head measurements. We're going to master making our first wig. And then when you make your second wig, you can be adventurous and be grown with that one. But with this one, we want to get your standard basic head measurements, okay? All right. For your circumference, I recommend sizing down if you're in between two numbers. So if you are between 21 and a half and 22, I will size down to 21 and a half. If you are between 22 and 22 and a half, I will size down to 22. I'm going to go around. While you're taking your circumference, think about how you want the wig to feel while it's on your head. Very important. So next is your ear to ear. You're going to go over your head. Think about how you want the wig to feel while it's on your head. So I go right a little bit past my hairline and I go over my head, and I'm 11. Front to nape. All right, so you're gonna start right at your hairline. Don't do this. Put it here. If you plan to leave a good amount of hair out up front, you can start your head measurement behind the hair you will leave out. All right, let's have a quick recap. Do not take your head measurements while wearing a sew-in, crochet braids, twist, locks, or a wig. If possible, prep your hair how it will be while you're wearing your wig, or at least keep that in mind while you're taking your head measurements. And think about how you plan to wear your wig, how you want it to feel while it's on your head. Are you going to wear it behind your hairline? Are you going to have some hair left out? All of that is very important, because if you do not take your head measurements based on how you plan to wear it, your wig will feel like it's either too big or too small. All right, so that's very important. When you take your head measurements, you want to measure in whole and half sizes. You're going to take each measurement twice. If you get two different numbers, take them a third time. Use the number that you get the most. And if you're in between two sizes, I recommend sizing down. It's your call. That's how I do it. And I want to say this, don't overthink this. I don't want you to get so overwhelmed with taking your head measurements. It's important, but don't feel like it has to be perfect. You just want to focus on getting your measurements as close as possible. And now is not the time to do the most, to be adventurous. Just take your standard head measurements, and then once you master wig making, you can be fancy and do the most and have more hair out on one side than you have on the other side. That will be your business. But for right now, we're going to focus on getting these head measurements, like your standard head measurements. All right. Keep these measurements in your phone, write them in your planner, notebook, wherever you need to keep them. You take them one time and that's it. Don't lose these head measurements now. Write them down in a notebook, a planner, put them in a special place at home, or keep them in your phone. Make sure you are using a wig block that is the size of your head. This one there. Sometimes I have to use either a towel. This is an old pillowcase, but I have to put something there so that the wig block is nice and steady and doesn't move. So the back will have like a little swoop going downward, and the front is more flat. That's how you can tell the front from the back. This is my favorite mesh dome cap. Whenever I make U-part wigs, I use this side because you don't have to worry about the seam being underneath where your last wefts would be. So I put this in the back, and this is what I put in the front. So let's put our wig cap on the wig block. And hold on, my wig cap, I want to get it as straight as possible. And the first measurement I do is the front to nape. My front to nape is 13. So from front of the cap to the back, I'm going to measure out 13, and we're already there. And I like to go a little bit past my actual measurement, just in case I pull up more of the cap while I am sewing than I should. I have some wiggle room. So that's what I do. I recommend that you do it too. Like, don't go, like if your size is 13, don't go all the way to 13 and a half. Let me double check. Yeah, so that's good. Once I have that mapped out, I'm going to put my stick pins in place. So that it does not move while I take my ear to ear. And I like for my stick pins to coordinate. And then I'm going to put 3 back here. And then 1 in the middle. And now we are going to do the ear to ear. And I am an 11. So I just go right over the ear. And you can mark your ears if you want. I don't. But you can. That may be helpful for you. That way, once you put it on the wig block, you'll know where your ears are. And then go on one side to the other. Just go over the cap. And right now it's at 14. So I just push each side up about the same. I want it to be even. Measure again to see if I'm close to it. Not quite. Oh, girl, I gotta go a ways up. All right, so now I'm good. Try to get pins that are long, like extra long. That way, when you're moving the cap around, they don't come out. They don't pull on your cap like it's kind of pulling on my cap, but since the pins are long, it's not coming out. So again, I like to go like a smudge past the 11 mark. Let me put my pin down. Put it right where you put the pin at on the other side, as close to, as possible. And these measurements do not have to be perfect, just as close as possible. So now we have this slack in the cap. All you have to do to get rid of that slack is, while stitching the wefts in the back, just pull up that extra cap while you sew down that weft. So that's it. So just put it on the wig block that is the size of your head. Do your front to nape first. And I like to go over a little bit than what my actual size is. And then I pin it down. I put my 3 pins in front to lock that measurement in. Do the same in the back. And then I do my ear to ear. And that's it. And then if you have a little slack in your cap while you are sewing your weft in the back, you're going to pull up that cap to get rid of that extra slack. And now you're ready to make your wig. Check out my playlist to watch all of my tutorials showing you how to make wigs with wefts. Save this video so you can come back and watch it if you ever get stuck. And of course, as always, if you have questions, leave them below. I got you. All right, see y'all next time.